Hello Aries, hi friends, how are you guys doing? Thank you for joining me for your mid reading. This is also a full moon reading. Yes, I know the full moon was on the 11th, but full moons are so strong that they stay with us for at least days after. Using a new deck. I love this deck, it's a favorite deck. It will always be my favorite deck. And I just couldn't hold out any longer. If you've watched other videos, you know why I've been reluctant to use this deck, but I'm not. And I don't wish to bring any reluctance into this reading. I wish to bring clarity to your reading. From Aries friends, what's happening? Our central issue is the Three of Pentacles. We're talking about work. We're talking about becoming skillful in something. We're talking about moving forward to the best of our ability to move forward, because your challenge this month, wow, Jesus, sorry guys, I'm only going to listen to the card that actually flipped, okay? We're ignoring these other cards here. Your challenge this month is the Chariot. Your challenge is to move forward. You are halting yourself. You are stopping yourself. Perhaps there is something that is causing you to feel afraid for moving forward. Gosh, you guys, I don't mean to interrupt. However, I did this for other videos, so I'm doing it for you. A recap of the cards that appeared for your full reading. These are the cards that appeared. They were the Four of Cups. Here we're talking about indecision. The Six of Cups, deeply felt emotions, in tandem with this Queen of Cups. The Ten of Wands, burden. The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, the inability to move forward independently. We are seeing this theme continued now with this Chariot here being in your challenge sector, with a small but very significant difference, which I'll get into. We also saw the Three of Cups, the Magician reversed, also suggesting lack of control. The Nine of Swords reversed, the Lovers, and Joker card back down here. Not really a Joker, but I just couldn't figure it out. Wow, sorry. I mean, as in I don't remember what this card is. There's one more card missing here. When I was going over your video, I was a bit impatient and I rewinded a few times, and then I hated myself for how I looked because hair was horrible, and then I started to feel insecure, and then I was like, well, what is this goddamn card? And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, all right, I'm just going to settle for this. All right. But these are the cards that appeared, okay? And now we see that theme of being unable to progress forward, really coming into our own power. This power that you had such a strong hold of in the past, actually, that's leaving you now. So perhaps you're not waking up as energetically as you were before. You had the assistance of so many planets in your sign that really made a difference. So the difference between stalling your improvement back early on in the month and just, let's say, putting it off and not doing much to thrive is not going to last for too much longer, because the difference between that Nine of Pentacles being in the reverse and the Chariot card now coming up in as a challenge for you to overcome, to succeed. The difference is that this Chariot card means whether or not you like it, sir, you're going in that direction. The Chariot's not going to wait for you. Chariot drives, or I don't know, whatever vehicle of choice, okay, appears at your door, knocks on your door, rather, and says, I'm here for you. Are you going to get into the vehicle or what? And it's just going to keep taunting you until you do it, until you start driving towards your destination. Likewise, this Ace of Wands that is frowning you mentally here is waiting for you to do something about it. And it's starting to become frustrating. It's starting to grow some pretty ugly weeds around it. And I don't know why I'm seeing that in my head. That's such an odd vision for me to have. But it's like buying a bamboo tree, which doesn't even, like, okay, it needs a lot of caring, but it doesn't need that much caring, and completely neglecting it to the point that it stops being beautiful, it stops presenting blessings that come with it, and it's just now being, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's now being overrun with horrible weeds that are stifling its growth. So for some reason, a few of you are taking for granted perhaps a rather good idea that you had in the past, or you got too lazy about it, and now it's coming back to haunt you. And it's coming back to haunt you, okay, in the form of plenty of emotions that you, my dear Aries friends, don't always know how to handle very well. No offense, but that's not your strong point. And you know what? It doesn't have to be your strong point. Your strong point is leading without emotion. You can't have emotion and lead a team towards success or like wage war or anything like that. You have to remain pretty unbiased, even though you can be hot-tempered, and we can view temperament as overworked emotions. They are two different things. On the one hand, we're talking about attitude and being authoritative or really authoritarian, actually authoritarian more than, for sure authoritarian, forget about the authoritative approach, which says, I don't care how you feel. This is your job. Get it done. That's how you are. You're good at that. You're good at telling people what to do. You're good at motivating them otherwise. People don't really know what to say sometimes around your presence because you have so much power. But again, emotions are not your strong point. So, and this is unfortunately what is perhaps causing this lack in success to come your way. Because we see here that in the past position, you were feeling a lot more victorious and more capable, maybe because there was a lot more energy that was supporting you that way. Again, you know, luck beyond you, that external pull towards success. But at the end of the day, you know, the universe and karma in a way comes back to remind us that we play a hand, and without actually doing something about it, we are not going to thrive. We have to get up, and we have to be the ones that motivate each other to become better versions of ourselves, to make things move, to actually cause a change to occur. Interestingly enough, like, so you have all this emotion, and it's like you're not very sure how to deal with this emotion. You also have enough money and security and stability. Perhaps that is why you are holding back from doing anything about this Ace of Wands. Or is it that you feel you're really incapable, like something is stopping you, something is preventing you from putting things into motion? Why is there such a strong sense of stagnation here? These are your cards, okay? I don't want to talk about this just yet. I'm having a look in more detail to this firm, solid foundation here, this neglected idea here, this pause in your life over here, this interruption, this obligatory interruption and pause in events and scenarios. So on the one hand, while you may be responsible for causing a halt from this, a halt for this idea to thrive in a healthy way, because right now it's kind of like just sitting there and it's growing all sorts of ugly things. I don't usually see that card this way, but now that's what's coming through. So instead of taking care of your plant or your pet, let's say, you're just letting it handle things its own way, and it doesn't necessarily know what's good for it. So it's, yeah, it can get pretty ugly. And instead of carrying with you this feeling into the future, which is this fiery element of really, you know, feeling motivated to move forward confidently, you are being asked to calm down, or you will calm down, perhaps. You have no choice. You're just so diminished of energy these days that and bogged down, okay, bogged down by emotion, that whether or not you like it, you're being asked to view things from an angle that you're not so comfortable with. You're afraid of putting in the hard work that's needed to do that. The hard work that we're talking about is not your daily job. The hard work we're talking about is your own inner work. Even though, traditionally speaking, the Eight of Pentacles talks about work in your environments. But if you are being asked to pause in your environment, as this Hanged Man is asking you to do here, pause and to reflect, especially during this retrograde season, when there's really not that much that we can do perhaps to move forward, but it's more traditional for us to look backwards and to revisit our thoughts and attitudes, so on and so forth. So it's a retrospective period that is encouraged right now. Then this hard work that needs to occur is inwards. It's inward hard work. And you see that the more success we attain, okay, that was confusing. Sorry. So the more success that we attain from the inside, the more we will see it manifest outwards. And I'm sorry, I just have to clarify something. Sorry. It's just, okay, using this deck gets confusing, especially if you use it with the Rider-Waite. So I'm more used to the Rider-Waite deck. That's usually the deck that I'm using for your readings, right? In the Rider-Waite, the Knight is the Knight. In the Thoth deck, the Knight is the King. And I just have to continuously remind myself of this. So yeah, we're still talking about emotions coming into the picture, but not too much emotion, as I'd made it seem to be. Not an exaggeration of emotions, but a chance for you to become the king of your emotions, okay? To be the king of your emotions. To try and perhaps achieve mastery when it comes to your own inner emotional functioning. Now that makes a lot more sense to me. Now that I realized that mistake that I made, okay? And if it weren't for this card coming up, I would have never seen that. Because here is the Prince of Cups. This is an exaggeration of emotion. And, okay, now you might be saying, but didn't you just ask us not to do that? Like, we need to have control of our emotions, right? So why are we ending up here with too much of it? You end up with too much of it because that's kind of the natural flow of things. While you are going through trial and error, you must err. You must err. Human error. I don't have a proper microphone, otherwise it wouldn't sound off. But to be human is to err. So it is normal for you to commit error. That's how you learn, only from your mistakes. And while having a lot of emotions doesn't have to be a mistake at all, for some signs thrive on emotions. In your case, because Aries is such a powerful sign that relies on thought and ideas, not even thought actually, but you rely on you're strategic. You rely on strategy, and to formulate a proper strategy, you must free yourself of biasing components. Emotion is a rather biasing component. It is not very usual for you to integrate emotion into your daily work. So when you start to experiment with this inwards, then you run the risk of adding too much emotion. So we add too much emotion, and then we start to slowly decrease the amount we put in. It's normal. It's trial and error. Does that make sense? I really hope it makes sense. Okay. Because that was your reading, Aries. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next month. So let me know what you think. If you have any comments, feel free. If you'd like to email me, contact is beneath. And if you want to go over your full month's reading, that link is also beneath. So yes, you guys have a great, happy Easter to those who are celebrating Easter. I need to get ready for an Easter dinner, actually. Namaste, friends. Bye.